Paul, you're wrong, and let me tell you why.
Oh boy, here we go.
We've been trying to do theme shows here, and we've decided that we're going to try and get our argument really tight into it. So we decided to come up with an argument that applies to gravity. And
boy, do we have one.
The topic is, the Flat Earth Society is correct.
Yep.
So
one of us will be arguing that the Flat Earth Society is correct in their assertion that the Earth is flat. Mm-hmm. And the other one will be arguing
that is not the case.
I'm going to say thousands and thousands of years of science, study, observation, and all kinds of things.
Yes.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's flip a damn coin.
Okay, I'm going to say the Flat Earth Society is correct, is heads.
Okay.
And Paul, would you like to take the coin?
Yeah, I'll take the coin.
Oh! Tails. Damn it.
All right, so I get to argue that the Flat Earth Society is not correct.
That's true.
I'm actually somewhat disappointed.
I would think.
All right.
So, here we go.
You're the one making the claim, man.
Yeah. We all knew that force equals mass times acceleration.
Yeah.
So clearly, what pulls us down toward the Earth is force. The acceleration of the Earth moving upward at a specific speed that pulls us down to the Earth. That's just Newtonian physics. Force equals mass times acceleration. The Earth is obviously moving straight up and pulling us down.
Yeah.
I don't see how that could not be the case. That seems absolutely accurate in every way. You should just take a bow and step off stage gracefully right now.
All right, perhaps I will. Maybe. I think you've proven your case. I think we're done here.
Newtonian physics, man.
A couple of questions.
Okay.
Well, we have what we've considered to be circumnavigation. We have circumnavigated the globe, meaning
I haven't.
Okay, well,
I don't believe you have either.
It's not my fault that you can get your little dinghy out there and go sailing across the ocean.
My dinghy's been plenty of places, let me tell you.
Yeah. Has it been around the world?
No, it has not.
Around the round world?
No, and again, I'm not sure that simply circumnavigating the globe actually explains that to us, because we're traveling over a flat surface.
Yes.
Now, considering that if you go far enough in one direction, you end up where you started from. As long as you go straight, that implies to me that you're traveling over a dimensional portal. You're traveling, you go east far enough and you end up west. Now, that's not because the Earth is round. That's because the Earth is in an endless a spatio-temporal loop. The loop goes around, and you continually end up where you were. But the fact of the matter is, it's always flat. I look around, I see flat all the time.
Okay, a couple of questions.
That's actually that's where the horizon comes from. You can see the horizon. It's the sign that the Earth ends at a distance. You can't see the actual end, but clearly, since you can stop seeing things, that's because the Earth actually ends. So, please, beat that.
Okay, well, I will beat that with your own discussion of gravity.
Okay.
So, who exactly was the dude who took the pendulum up to the top of the mountain?
That was Halley, the Comet Man.
Yes, so Halley's Comet Man. Say we are on a flat Earth, a disk accelerating upwards, which is basically what is, keeping us the force.
A disk inside a spatio-temporal loop. Yes.
I'm just going to let that one go. Okay, why is the gravitational force weaker at the top of the mountain then? Wouldn't it be the same?
Well, first off, he was using a pendulum. Now, I don't know if he oiled the pendulum. I don't know any of that. All I'm saying, and by the way, this is also a story. Mm-hmm. This is a story that he says, I don't know the calculations. I don't know how much faster or slower it may or may not have moved. All I'm saying is I personally, and I'd be willing to bet you as well, do not know for a fact that it is round. And mathematically, if the Earth were a flat disk traveling straight up, it would answer all the questions we have about gravity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about, what's his name? Oh, see if I could remember his name. The dude who,
the cosmonaut?
No.
I don't see any God up here.
The guy who looked at the shadows in the wells. I'm trying to think of his name.
The Greek.
Yeah. You found out that at high noon, in one place, the shadow, there was no shadow in the well. You look down, the sun shines completely, but at high noon, in a different location, there was actually a shadow in the well. How can you explain that?
the sun travels across the sky. I think we've all seen that.
So the sun.
So, I mean, the sun travels across the sky from left to right or from east to west. I mean, I don't see why that implies anything about the roundness of a planet. Let alone the fact that we're spinning with what is it? Centrifugal force should be flinging us off the planet. That didn't make any sense.
Eratosthenes.
Ooh, very good.
Yes.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was Government Jeff.
Oh, that's okay. And by the way, considering the state of the Greek economy and how poorly they seem to be with numbers,
Yeah.
I'm going to say I don't necessarily trust the calculations of some Greek before they had calculators.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I find that a load of crap.
No, your argument
know.
is clearly spurious because you can't say that if the sun, in your estimation, is swinging back and forth across the sky.
Yeah.
Either way, at high noon, at the sun's apogee location.
Apogee, very nice.
I'm working.
Good deal.
It would be no shadow if the two wells were located directly on a flat plane. And so your flat Earth society argument, I think it doesn't hold the water that's in those wells.
Well, I'm sorry. First off, I'm not entirely sure he was at both wells at the same time. In fact, I would bet you money he wasn't.
Oh, you don't know the story?
Oh, I know the story.
Clearly you're uneducated. Clearly you're ignorant of the story of Eratosthenes.
Oh, I know Eratosthenes from Eratosthenes. I can tell you that. And he was not in two wells at the same time, was he?
He paid a young lad. He paid a young lad to go and sit at the other well in the other town. Mm-hmm. And so you could.
So it was noon in the other town.
It was noon everywhere. It was noon.
Oh, so there weren't time zones. So you're saying the Earth isn't round? I'm just saying. So was it noon? I mean, were they the same time, or did he just wait till the sun was at its highest point, and the kid, being a kid, just said, I don't know. Again, this is a terrible story that doesn't. There's nothing to substantiate it.
Okay, all right. I will back off my Eratosthenes argument, and I'm sorry, you've had your fun.
Greeks and their boys. I'm just saying. I hear stories.
It's time to whip out the guns.
Okay.
Okay, man. Number one, from high mountain places, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
You can see the end of the Earth.
Number two, we went to the what's it called? The fucking moon.
If you say so.
Number
Again,
three,
I don't believe that I went to the moon, and there's a large group of people who deny that we did go to the moon. Now, if you're going to say that just because the majority of scientists believe we went to the moon, that this small sect doesn't count, well, Newton was all alone. Copernicus was all alone. Kepler, all alone. Against the power of the establishment. And that's exactly what we're talking about right here. The establishment, the scientific elite, claiming they know everything and trying to make you pay additional money for fuel for planes and any number of other things that they've obviously got a lobby in. That's all I'm saying.
Number three,
Okay.
I'm still stuck on. Number three, if I were to call Hawaii right now, they would tell me it was sunny out.
Who do you know in Hawaii?
Actually, I do know someone in Hawaii. A former colleague that I taught with in Tucson, Arizona.
Somebody trustworthy?
She's a math teacher.
A math teacher. Those people that deal in the most abstract of abstractionism. Come on!
Number four.
Four. Yes.
Explain the phases of the moon.
Obviously, the Earth is round. So when the sun goes behind
Thank
the
you.
Earth,
Thank you, and good night.
not spherical, round.
So your flat Earth
It's
argument.
a flat
your
disk,
flat-
and it's round, and as the sun travels below the Earth, because it would have to, because it doesn't go back and forth in the sky, always starts on the same side, so it has to go around. When the Earth is behind the sun, when the sun is behind the Earth, clearly the light would reflect sometimes part of the moon, sometimes all of the moon, depending on how much of the sun could get past the Earth from below, which actually further bolsters my point
So wait,
that the Earth is a flat, round disk.
So the sun at times is on the underside of the Earth.
Where do you think Australia is?
That's what you're saying. You're saying that the sun actually goes so the Earth is flat, and the sun goes to the underside.
That's why the people in Hawaii would say it was sunny.
The
The
people
sun's on the other side of the Earth. Can you not?
a flat-
I can't grasp this. Come on, man.
So you're not saying that it's a flat Earth.
I am.
No, you can't be, because if you're saying it's a flat Earth and we're accelerating upward, force equals mass times acceleration, the people in Hawaii or Australia or wherever the hell you're talking about would not be attracted to the Earth. They would fall off the Earth.
Well, if you want to look at things that way, I'd have to say you're a bit of a skeptic, possibly a cynic. Secondly, this is a spatiotemporal disk. So the edges of it obviously allow one to transfer from one edge to the other, which seems perfectly reasonable.
Please.
Second,
Yes.
the fact that space-time bends, which we just discussed, clearly illustrates the fact that the Earth, while moving in one direction, actually space on the other side can be moving in the same direction, which means that the sensation of being pulled off the Earth at the correct speed, considering the Earth in both directions is traveling with the correct amount of force, which would pull people to both sides of it. Therefore, the Earth is clearly flat. I mean, I don't understand exactly how you're not grasping this. Math seems fairly simple.
Could you please, for the benefit of our listeners, explain a spatiotemporal Earth, please?
It's an Earth that exists in space and time.
Okay, all right. It's like you just throw out.
I thought that was good.
I'm using words.
I've been listening to Deepak Chopra.
Spatiotemporal, axionomical. Yes.
Reciprocal.
I mean, seriously, what do you want me to say, man? Come on. I mean, seriously, we went to the moon. We have
Well, first
satellites.
people that went up into space were the Russians. The Russians who had cardboard tanks because they were conning the American people into believing they had a larger military force. We know this to be true. We know that they're deceitful and tricky. We also know that the space program was founded by Nazis. Nazis who were seeking world domination. Now, if they were able to inject their power and their influence into the scientific community, as you have accepted that they did,
okay,
then they would be able to pull off a con like no other. What is it? It's a round Earth. And again, it's because they're charging you for fuel, for planes. I mean, the whole thing is obviously a money-making scam, and you're falling for it. And I'm a little shocked and saddened by your flagrant ignorance and just brushing off obvious facts of reality.
Okay, perhaps just one more question
Okay.
for you, and then we can wrap this issue up here. In several parts. So we went to Washington, D.C. recently, correct?
We did, yes.
We drove in a van.
We did. It was a van. It was a red van. It said Reason Rally on the side because we were rallying for reason.
Now, in that van, there was a global positioning system which guided us the entire way there. That global positioning system knew our location in relation to the location that we wanted to be.
Yes.
Because of 4 satellites in geosynchronous orbit and
Geosynchronous. Now, who's the one using fancy terms? I say spatiotemporal. You say, what's that mean? You're saying geosynchronous? I don't know what that means.
yeah, okay.
That's my claim.
All right. Well, what's holding the satellites up?
Jet fuel. The jet fuel they want us to pay for. Why do you think NASA is so expensive? It's Nazis and communists getting money for jet fuel. I mean, you're proving my point.
Oh, okay, man. I concede that was.
Thank you.
That. Oh my God.
It all comes around, man.
Jet fuel.
Communist Nazis.
Communist Nazis and jet fuel is
Yes.
how we keep the GPS system running. Well.
Okay.
We want to know what you think.
Yes.
Email us at reason@wnyatheist.org. So, hey Josh.
Yes.
Is the Earth round?
Well, I may have convinced myself. I may have convinced myself that it is a round disc.
You're going to join the Flat Earth Society now?
I'm just saying that I'm looking for their website right now so I can get on their mailing list. There is, by the way, a Flat Earth Society that believes that the Earth is a flat disc that is flying upwards, and that's why we're pulled down.
See, one of my problems with this argument, I do think it was a good time, is like, the only thing I got is, what are you, fucking stupid? Like, I don't even know, like...
Well, that's the argument, too. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the only way that I can argue that point is by throwing out random premises that 7 or 8 of them that are very confusing and bizarre.
Yeah.
Communist Nazis, jet fuel. It's crazy stuff, and it's fun, except for the fact that that's kind of what people do.
It really is.
The people that don't believe we landed on the moon, the people that believe in a soul or God, you say, well, what's God? And they define it, and you go, that doesn't make any sense. And they go, yes, it does.
No, it
They say,
isn't.
well, how do you think? If there's no thinker, it's like, I'm going to say electrochemical reactions in the brain.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, no, it's your soul. And I'll say, well, what proof do you have of a soul? And they say, you think, you feel. And I'm like, well, that's just circular. And that's the problem, is that people that make crazy claims, when they're put over the coals, run into circular arguments. They run into crazy stuff. So, I mean, the flat earth argument, while extreme, is really not that different than the God argument.
No,
it's really not.
It's not. I mean, the stuff that the religious folks come up with is no more absurd than constantly running a flame of jet fuel to hover the satellites above the disk of the Earth.
To be perfectly honest, that is the same sort of thinking that's necessary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, absurd as it may be, it's actually not that much more absurd than, homeopathy.
Right.
Energy signatures in water. What the hell does that mean? Blah.
And and the thing is, you and I have brought up this point, numerous times, but it's that same old friggin' thing, which is like, you think homeopathy is crazy. You think the Scientologists or the Mormons are crazy. They're not any more crazy than the Catholics or the Christians or
The Seventh-day Adventists or the Muslim. The Confucianists actually make some pretty good sense for the most part, but we'll skip past them. The Buddhists with their nirvana, the Greeks in Mount Olympus. Well, they went to the top of Mount Olympus. There were no gods there. So what do the Christians do? They put God in the clouds.
Yeah.
We went to the clouds. There was no God there. So what do? Put him in another dimension. Because just keep moving him back.
Well, someone in the chat room just said science is just gobbledygook. But I think that person actually believes in ghosts, so we'll just dismiss her opinion completely. So, thanks for staying with us to the bottom of another episode of Reason. Mm-hmm. We're at an hour and 38 minutes about.
Not too bad.
No.
Not too bad.
No, and that's including, adding a couple more segments there, and which I think was fun. I think it was a good time. We're constantly evolving, intelligently.
Microevolution, not macroevolution.
Not macroevolution, but
No.
microevolution. So, Josh, I have not asked you this question all day.
Yes.
You got a quote for us?
I don't. But I've got a quote now. It came up with me, and I'm going to come up with the first palindrome.
Okay.
Madam, I madam.
Okay.
First palindrome.
All right. So next week's show is the topic is going to be Easter because it happens to be on Easter Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure we're going to be talking about zombies. I'm sure we're going to be talking about bunny rabbits.
Zombie rabbits, perhaps.
Zombie bunny rabbits who lay chicken eggs that are decorated.
Just seems to me the carrots look a lot like the stakes you stab vampires with, and I'm not saying that's a coincidence.
Yeah, well, it seems to all fit together. It makes sense. It goes around and around and up and down in a circle, and yeah. So I guess this is
and chocolate.
Between now and then is family time. So I'm sure Josh and I will have some interesting stories. The holidays are so much fun, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Man.
Well, I'm actually not going to see any of my crazy relatives this year. So for Easter, we never were big Easter people. Most of my mother's side of the family, which is what I'm really closest with, my mother's side of the family, they watch those videos about the Passion of the Christ, which were before Mel Gibson got in there with the money, where they just, again, it was torture porn. And, none of them really celebrate Easter because they were kind of horrified at how disgusting and offensive it was. So I didn't realize that Easter had anything to do with the Jesus until my mid to late teens. And I was like, wait a sec, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. So I thought it was just about bunnies having sex with, chickens to make chocolate eggs or something.
For me, being raised Catholic, it was just like this. Wait, what? When he died? Yeah, here's chocolate, and it was like, oh, I like chocolate. Like seriously, it was like a distract. But wait a minute, he died, and then that's where and have some chocolate.
Oh yeah.
So
I always liked the jelly beans.
Yeah, that's because you're a freak who eats weird foods like jelly beans and gummy bears, and I just can't understand why you would eat that crap. So, anyway.
Anywho.
All right, so until next week when we have our discussion about Easter, have a good one.
Assalamu alaikum.
Farewell.